What's up everyone? I hope you're having a great day, as always. I'd like to do a video today talking about Vipassana meditation. And there's actually two aspects of Vipassana meditation. It's sort of a mental balancing act between mindfulness and concentration. Now, I've spoken much about mindfulness in previous videos. I also spoke on Dzogchen meditation, which is another style of vast, open spaciousness, which is a style of meditation, I suppose you could say. Now, what I'd like to focus on today is the concentration aspect of Vipassana meditation, which is to say I'd like to focus on one-pointedness, or bringing the mind to one-pointedness. And now this is an interesting practice. You can actually do this through just performing any particular activity where you're wholly invested or involved into the activity you're performing. Now, a lot of people perform or practice Vipassana meditation with concentration or one-pointedness when they're doing yoga. I also find that it's applicable when it comes to powerlifting, oddly enough. When you're about to go up to a max effort lift, a single, like a deadlift or a squat or a bench press, I noticed that there is a certain stillness or one-pointedness that the mind is brought to, which is a point of concentration. So this is a practice of meditation which I find to be very, very valuable. Now I'm going to give you an example of a story that actually happened to me not that long ago, and I actually think I mentioned this in a podcast that I had done a while back. So there was this one evening where I was going out with the missus and she had to get ready, and she had about 45 minutes where she was going off and getting ready and doing her womanly thing that they do. So I basically had to sit still, or not even sit still, but I had to sit and do nothing. See, this is what I forced myself into doing. Nothing. See, when things come up, and I'm getting better at this as the years go on, but when things come up where I have a certain gap of time to fill, and let's say I don't have any particular activity planned or scheduled to fill in that gap, it just happens to be that, oh, right now I need to sit and I need to wait for a half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it may be. Now, in our society now, people go and they turn to their computers, they turn to their smartphones and devices, they'll play video games, they'll do all these different, listen to music, watch videos, do all sorts of stuff that fills in these gaps. See, I'm not always interested in filling the gaps, because I don't find that there's too much growth to be had when you're just constantly filling these gaps with things. See, what ends up happening there is the mind can't settle, it can't just be still, it can't just chill the out. So when I was waiting here for about 45 minutes, I was waiting for the missus to get ready. Now, what I had told myself to do was sit still. I felt that unease, that anxiety arise within me, like, oh, what am I going to do? Should I play a game? Should I listen to a podcast? Should I, listen to a debate? Should I listen to an audiobook? Should I read something? Like, so much going, all whizzing by. So what I had done was just decided to sit still and focus on an object in the room. So in this particular example, what I decided to focus on was the fire detector. So I stared, it's like the smoke detector actually. So I stared and looked up at this green blinking light in the ceiling. First I stared at it for 15 minutes past. And at the 15-minute point, I'd say that I had quite a few thoughts fly by, different things that I had to just watch trail off into the distance and return back to this little game I had established for myself of staring at the smoke detector. So that was about the 15-minute point. About 20 minutes, 25 minutes in, I started thinking to myself, okay. Are we almost there? Are we getting there? Has it been 45 minutes? We good with this? Okay, so I started to get a little restless. See, when this happens, it's always important to, with the use of willpower, force the mind back to one-pointedness. Force it back to what your attention has been drawn upon. So I like the example of the smoke detector. Now, I was actually able to sit through it 45 minutes. At about 35 minutes, I was pretty good, I had no other trailing thoughts. Everything had sort of quieted down. It almost reminded me of a scene in a Western movie where it goes like all dead silent and you see that thing skip across, like that little hay thing that goes across. So everything was very still, very silent. I was very at peace, at ease. almost like it reminds me of like when I got up from all that, when I got up from the 45 minutes of just stillness, I almost felt like lighter. Almost like I had a little spa treatment or something, a mental spa treatment, mental spa day. So I'd like to invite you to try this practice. I'll give you some other examples here. One more that I like to introduce to people that are starting out with meditation is staring at the doorknob. So your focus is to sit still and stare at a doorknob, but you're not staring it with any sort of anticipation like someone's going to come in or you're expecting it to do something. You're simply just focusing and staring at this doorknob. And I would recommend starting for 5 minutes, maybe start with 10 minutes. When you feel your thoughts start to trail off, you constantly remind and return back to doorknob. Pretty simple. You can investigate all aspects of that doorknob if you like. You can watch the curvatures of it. You can watch how the light reflects off it. You can watch the textures of it from all the thousands and thousands of hands that have turned it. But your focus is on the doorknob. So this is going to help with bringing the mind to one-pointedness. So I think it's a very important practice, and it's a practice of Vipassanā meditation, which is a Theravada Buddhist form of meditation. Now, Theravada Buddhism is basically to say the elder monks. So it's a very aged form of practice. So I'd like to just bring this up and introduce this to you if you haven't tried it before. I've mentioned other forms of meditation, but I did want to give you these examples. One more example I'd like to give is you can actually go into a dark room, pitch black, and you'll have one candle, one little candle. Now you're going to just sit still and you're going to put that candle in front of you and you're going to light it and you're just going to stare at the flame. You're just going to watch the flame of the candle. You're not going to try and do anything, and you're not going to try and make the candle do anything. You're just going to sit within the space of and the energy of that candle, and you're going to share that experience with it. So try that as well as a form of one-pointedness. If you find the mind trailing, it's actually very easy. It's much easier to do the candle approach as opposed to the doorknob, because the doorknob's a little bit boring, right? It's not doing anything. The candle, it's a flame. It's alive. It has an energy to it. It moves around. You can kind of keep a good focus on it, and it's a great way to practice this one-pointedness, and it's a great introductory to it as well. So I'd like you to try it out. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if it works for you. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. So I hope this helps, and I'll catch you again in that next one.